Security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines.
Who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
In terms of tackling security, there is lack of political will.
Beyond the headlines.
Who are the sponsors of insecurity in this country?
From breaking news to everyday conversations, this is where Nigeria's conversations begin. We track the issues shaping Nigeria and the world today. The world is talking, and we're listening. This is Trends on LJE News.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Trends on LJE News, where we bring you the latest and developing stories in Nigeria and of course across the globe. My name is Omotola Adeleke. And of course I have here with me my guest. I have killed, 108 injured in coordinated bomb blast in Maiduguri. Passengers injured as train incident disrupt Abuja-Kaduna rail service. Atiku and Southern running mate could defeat Tinubu in 2027, says Dele Momodu. APC says PDP no more a political party. Opposition fires back. Tinubu directs nationwide rice distribution for Ramadan and Lent. Inflation has halved since 2023. Tinubu's reforms yielding result. Information Minister. Protest erupt in Benin over school bullying incident. And now to the details. 23 people have been confirmed dead and 108 others injured following coordinated bomb explosions at 3 locations carried out by suspected suicide bombers around 7:24 p.m. on March 16, 2026. Security agencies, including police tactical unit and the military, were swiftly deployed to the affected areas. The scenes were secured and swept by the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit to eliminate further threat while investigation continue. Let's quickly watch the visuals.
A bakin gate na kwasin main gate na kwasin bombin ya tashi. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Bakin wajen security, wajen inda ake checkpoint na security. Wanda kuke gani wannan a kwance shi ma bomb ne tashi. Kai ba na san taruwa gefe na. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi bakin TH da kuke gani gashi nan wajen bakin TH da kuke gani gashi nan wajen
All right, let me start with Chinedu this morning. As you've seen it, 3 different bomb blasts in 3 different locations in Maiduguri. I remember Judith yesterday mentioned that, some of this issue of banditry, terrorism somehow is decreasing. But it seems it's coming back into light again, and it's looking like these people are regrouping. What would you have to say to this?
Yes, since the administration of Tinubu, before the administration of Tinubu, since Goodluck Jonathan, we know the issues of the Chibok girls, ever since Boko Haram became a national threat in the country. Bomb blasts has been almost like a steady occurrence in the nation. Having a bomb blast in a state or in a particular region is now like a child going to school in the morning. It's very common. When this issue that happened in Maiduguri, I wasn't surprised.
You expected it to happen?
Yes, of course, I expected it to happen. Insecurity now in the nation is something else. I expected it to happen. But then I must commend the government on their immediate response to that particular incident. The medical unit actually responded immediately, as quickly as they could. But no matter how quick the response is, it's already lives have been lost already.
23 lives
Lives have been
lost, not
already.
one, not
Properties
two.
damaged. Yes, lives have been lost and properties damaged. So even if they responded a minute after the bomb blast, even if they responded a minute after the bomb blast, it's not enough to bring back the souls which have been lost.
All right. It's been a while, Esther, that we heard suicide bombers.
Yeah.
It's been a while. What we've been hearing is kidnappings, banditry, attacks and all that. But suicide bombers is not a new thing, actually. It has happened before. In fact, it happened last year. But it's not common like the way we see kidnappings happening every day. What is this trying to say? Is this a new level of insecurity in the country, or is this bringing back the bombings and all that? I remember the one that happened at Yanya in Abuja. Hundreds of lives were lost. So this is another wave of suicide bombing again.
Truth be told, I don't even understand. Is Nigeria progressing or retrogressing? Because over time, we went past this issue of suicide bombers. We've in the last couple of months, like you said already, we've barely had any issue of suicide bombers. So what is the sole cause of this issue coming back to light as at now? And what is the aim of these suicide bombers? After killing lives and damaging properties and all of that, what happens?
So what do you think is the aim of these people?
That's my
Suicide
question,
bombers?
exactly, because I don't even know their aim personally. If somebody can actually answer, I would really like to know, because at the end of the day, how much are you being compensated with, or your family is being compensated with, for you to actually volunteer yourself to lose your life alongside with the lives of thousands of people? To what end? Exactly, because this is just, at the end of the day, it's just news to us. Lives have been lost, damages have been caused. It did not solve anything in the country. It did not stop any leader, or it did not stop anything going on in Nigeria. So what's the sole aim of a suicide bomber losing his life and taking thousands of people? Look at the number, 23 people. And this is the media number. They won't give us the accurate number. It might be more than that. It might be lesser than that.
The issue, they actually said, the ASP said, it's suspected suicide bombers. The word suspected. There's every possibility it might not even be a suicide bomber. There's every possibility it might not be a suicide bomber. There's every possibility maybe someone dropped the bomb and he left. It's not necessarily a suicide bomber. It's a suspected suicide bomber. So, but even at that,
but when it has to do with issues like this, it can be a suicide bomber until the court now declares yes, the suspect is now the suicide bomber.
If it's a suicide, the court can't.
You know why I said that? A thief or an armed robber can go commit crime. An armed robber can go steal. And, everyone sees that, okay, this is the person who steals. But the court will still say this person is a suspected armed robber until he or she is declared guilty.
Yes, I understand. But in this case,
it might not even be a suicide bomber.
In this case, there will be no court because the suicide bomber is already expected to be dead. He can't be seeing the courtroom because he's already dead. Maybe he will see the courtroom when he gets to heaven or he gets to the judgment.
But at the end of the day, there was a bombing and people lost their lives. I wanted to even ask, so how do we now involve Donald Trump again? We've been shouting Donald Trump. Donald Trump seems to be very busy with the issue of Iran and all that.
Yes.
Do you think he would probably want to come to Nigerians' aid with this advent of suicide bombing, allegedly?
For now, like you said, he's very occupied with issues concerning his own country and others, about the war and all of that. So for now, I don't even think his attention is directed towards Nigeria as of now. Maybe later he might remember that he's supposed to intervene in a alleged Christian genocide and all of that.
But is this a genocide? Is this a Christian genocide? Let me be specific.
It's not a Christian genocide because those or whosoever bombed the place, there's no way the person could have known the amounts of Christians, the amounts of Muslims on the ground. Because I think it was actually the bombings where it was a targeted mission. Like he had a target. I think he went to the market. He went to several spots in the city where he bombed. So there's no way he would have known. These are places that are usually busy. There's no place he would have known the amount of Christians there, the amount of Muslims there. Besides, is that place is it a Christian state?
Vicinity.
Yes,
All
no,
right.
Christian vicinity.
And of course, we know most of the people in Maiduguri are Muslims.
Muslims.
we can't even go crying to Trump over everything that happens in the nation. Even if let's assume he had nothing to do, maybe he was less busy today. There was no war going on with Iran. We can't. How many times will we go crying to Trump, telling him to come and bomb our country for us? He's
But
coming. he's definitely coming to bomb
we
our
have
country.
clearly seen that the federal government is incapable, of solving the issue of insecurity in the country.
Yes, we have seen that, and we need to figure out a plan ourselves instead of relying on one man. And he proposes, he bombs. He's a man who actually takes decisions without informing, without being. He doesn't consider the nation. He doesn't
He's
inform.
brutal with his decisions.
Exactly.
All right. Several passengers sustained injuries on Monday after a train operating on the Abuja-Kaduna rail corridor was involved in an accident that forced it to halt midway through the journey. The train traveling from Kaduna to Abuja failed to arrive on schedule after the disruption occurred along the busy route linking the Federal Capital Territory and Kaduna State passengers. Said a loud bang was heard before the train jolted violently, throwing some occupants from their seat and causing panic inside the coaches. Eyewitnesses suggested the Abuja-bound train may have collided with another train on the corridor. Some passengers suffered cuts and bruises. During the incident, the train reportedly remained stationary for about 30 minutes before resuming movement towards Kubwa. The Nigerian Railway Corporation confirmed the incident and said a statement will be issued. Let's quickly watch a short video of this incident.
And there was a great impact. People injured. Even those of us who are in coach 20 injured. And now look at this. This is really bad. So there obviously was an impact. And it caused this great damage. Okay. Oh my goodness. That means it's the impact. So apparently, what happened is that this that was attached suddenly detached and then crashed this one. It just crashed it.
All right, we thank God no life was lost in the process. An accident, of course. But let's move on to the next quickly. Former presidential candidate Dele Momodu has said an opposition ticket pairing Atiku Abubakar with a southern political figure could defeat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 election. The African Democratic Congress chieftain suggested a coalition ticket involving figures like Peter Obi or Rotimi Amechi could significantly weaken the ruling party. Momodu argued that Atiku's long political experience and enduring ambition make him a strong opposition contender. He added that growing dissatisfaction with the current administration could push more Nigerians to support a united opposition, stressing that democracy requires credible opposition candidate rather than a one-sided political contest. Now, let's listen to Dele Momodu.
Don't have 1% of Tinubu's war chest. No, it doesn't have it. If at Lagos State alone, you can imagine how much Tinubu can generate from Lagos State alone, not to talk of national. In fact, it is Tinubu that is afraid of Nigerians. And that is why they are cooking all kinds of cocktails. If we have a combination of Atiku, maybe with Peter Obi, maybe with Rotimi Amechi, maybe with any other person that comes from the south, Tinubu will be gone. Atiku.
All right, we've heard from Dele Momodu. I remember yesterday, Edu said Tinubu is a master politician, someone who knows how to be strategic with his movement, with his, processes, especially in politics. But now, Dele Momodu, who knows politics as well, is saying whatever move, whatever strategy that you see President Bola doing today is because he's afraid of Nigerians. Do you believe that's the case?
I don't entirely believe that's the case.
You don't think Tinubu is afraid of Nigerians?
He has no reason to be. He has no reason to be afraid of Nigerians. I don't think they believe that. But he made a vital point. He gave a vital point there. If I don't know how they could come down to that, maybe to arrive at that solution. But if Atiku Abubakar would actually get a southern running mate, obviously he will give Tinubu a run for his money.
So you believe Atiku being the presidential candidate than any other southern candidate? Because I recall yesterday you were in support of Peter Obi wholeheartedly.
The administration of Tinubu has grown so strong. Tinubu has grown so strong that it doesn't actually take one man. It doesn't take one party to defeat APC. For you to defeat APC now at this point, you need 2 or 3 parties who would come together, they work together.
Not just the ADC.
Not just the ADC. You can't defeat one party, can't defeat APC. It's like it's a chance in a million.
So are you calling for a political party like the PDP, the Labour Party, for example, coming together with the ADC?
If possible with ADC, APGA, that's the only way they will stand a chance against Tinubu.
Not even a political party.
We need two or three major powerhouses to work together. If these 2 or 3 can work together, then I don't think the next election Tinubu will have a say in it.
Do you think President Tinubu is that strong that political parties have to form a coalition before he can be defeated, Esther?
Well, at this point, the way the administration is growing stronger day after day, minute after minute. We hear governors defecting to the APC. We hear people defecting to the APC. As a matter of fact, the PDP currently right now is in a state of quagmire. They're having different factions and a major member of the PDP supporting the APC. It feels more like the Tinubu administration has grown so strong that the political parties don't even stand so much chance to defeat him in the forthcoming election. So I think I'll actually agree with Chinedu when he says that at least 2 or more parties should come together and actually try to bring their hands together. The major thing is actually presidency. I understand that each political party will want to have the president from their political party. But given the way the whole country is going right now, just one political party, even if it's just going to be one political party, but with major leaders, major political antics, it needs coming together and not fighting themselves. That's the only way they can actually to fight this current administration.
So you don't think the ADC on its own as a single political party can defeat President Bola Tinubu?
They can, but they will need more leaders, their leaders coming together because as of now, the ADC, they've not held their primaries. Well, I know for a fact that P2B wants to be president. Atiku wants to be president. So
even Rotimi wants to be president.
So if 3 of them are vying for one post, how will they come together and say, oh, okay, just be the president, let us make sure at least we take the power from the ruling party and bring it to the ADC?
We are even talking about a man who has unlimited or almost an unlimited resource behind him. You know the wealth Tinubu is actually controlling. He has the wealth of Lagos State. He has the wealth of the nation.
How do you know he has the wealth of Lagos State?
But we all know. No, we all know.
Perhaps Chinedu knows.
We do know. We know Lagos is owned by Tinubu.
Wow,
that was way before he was the president of Nigeria. Now he's now the president of the country. And now trying to fight a political battle with that kind of man, you can't obviously expect to win alone.
All right. So, please, that should be noted. That's from Chinedu that Tinubu owns Lagos. I've not seen any facts to that.
It's not only from Chinedu, it's from majority of Nigerians who know the situation of the country.
Please, that's still from Chinedu. Let's move away to that away from that story and go to the next one. The National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Felix Moka, has attributed the wave of defections from the People's Democratic Party to internal crisis within the opposition party. According to him, the PDP can no longer effectively function as a political party due to internal crisis and its inability to provide a credible political platform for members. He argued that politicians joining the APC would be seen as endorsing the ruling party rather than signaling a drift towards a one-party state. However, the PDP dismissed the remarks as unfortunate. In a statement, its spokesman, Ini Memobong, accused the APC of spreading propaganda and insisted Nigerians continue to reject the government of Bola Tinubu due to economic hardship. Let's quickly hear what Felix Moka, the APC spokesperson, let's hear what he has to say.
He has become utterly dysfunctional. The PDP is no longer able to call itself a political party, properly so called, because it's incapable by its own internal dysfunction to offer its members any credible, sensible, smart, actionable platform to pursue their political aspirations. So that's on the one hand.
All right, we've heard from Felix Moka. Not just too long ago, Esther just mentioned that PDP is in quagmire. The crisis looks like it might not be resolved in the shortest possible time. Do you think the PDP is no longer a political party, just like Felix Moka just mentioned?
I can't. There is no way any reasonable Nigerian would take the statements of that man seriously, because obviously he's a political, how will I say it? He's doing the work of a political. That's the work of a political talk. It's the work of a political talk.
Your statements are strong.
You can't.
Please, I think I'm coming. Sorry, excuse me, Chinedu. I think we need to withdraw that statement.
I can't, because if he was,
I don't think so. He is the APC spokesperson. He is not a political.
That's the issue.
He's not a political.
He's acting as the APC spokesperson. What do you expect someone from APC to say about another political party which they fear might win them in the upcoming election?
But that doesn't mean he's a political talk.
He's doing the work. What does the political talk do?
A political talk will violently go and scatter somewhere, cause violence and all that. That's not what he's doing. He's just talking.
This is violence, but it's not just physical violence. That's the difference. A political talk will carry out physical violence, but he's not carrying out a physical violence. This is more of a psychological violence. That's what I like to call it.
But let's take that aside. Again, he's not a political thug. You understand? He's not. But do you still think that the PDP, with what we see right now, is the PDP actually acting as a political party? They used to be major opposition party.
The PDP is still a political party because he's not the INEC chairman. He has no ties. He has no authority to declare a political party recognized by INEC. He has no right to declare them as nothing less than a political party. So it's still a political party.
But with the internal wrangling, with the internal issues, they have the faction of Wiki, they have the faction of Turaki and all that. Would you still regard them as a major opposition party?
Of course, they're a major opposition party. We all know PDP. I can't come here to say that okay, they aren't having issues. They're having issues. That's true. But still, it doesn't still make them less of what they are.
Okay.
They will the upcoming elections, of course, they will deliver, or they will try
to deliver.
All
right. Thank you, Chinedu. Esther, you already said there's a lot of crisis in the PDP, but do you think they're still a major opposition party at this point?
I don't know about the word major opposition, but totally considering them inconsequential in terms of being a political party is not the right word. They are still an existing political party and they will still bring about their political candidates. Yes, it might be that they are having some internal fights and all of that, but they are still a political party. I don't know if major is still there, because as of now, I think the major opposition we have is the ADC.
Not the PDP anymore.
For me, it's the ADC. I mean, the ADC is the major opposition that the APC is having as of now. The PDP is still an opposition, but with they have to sort out themselves within before they can actually bring themselves together and come out to fight the APC.
And let's even come to look at it, APC expels more energy on the African Democratic Congress, even more than the People's Democratic Party. Is the ADC now stronger than the PDP in today's electioneering?
The APC is not, the ADC is not stronger than, the ADC is not stronger than the PDP because they are yet to be seen
in elections.
An election. Yes, they're yet to be seen. But we all know the capability of PDP.
But we saw what happened in Abuja. They participated in Abuja, the African Democratic Congress. I think we remember.
They participated, but what was the achievement? That's the question. What was the achievement? Were they able to achieve anything? They weren't. So you can't write off, I still think PDP is way, way bigger than ADC. I think so, yes.
They complained. In fact, the PDP complained about a one-party system. The African Democratic Congress is also complaining about a one-party system. But let's come to think of it. Since around 1999 up until 2017, we also had PDP having waves of defection coming into the political party. In fact, there was a time when the PDP governors were like 30. The PDP governors were like 30, but yet there was no shouts, there was no complaint and controversy surrounding a one-party state. But now, the APC having almost the same number of governors, do you think we're still heading to a one-party state?
Yes, one can argue that we're heading to a one-party state. One thing about, as I've said before, one thing about politics, politics is a game, it has to do with self-interest. Political interest. That's what's involved. When you see governors defecting from one party to usually the ruling party, you don't need someone to tell you they have their own self-interest at heart. Of course they want to retain their position. They do want to retain their position. So they move. But
that translates into an agenda of making Nigeria a one-party state.
Yes. What qualifies a nation to be a one-party state? What really qualifies a nation to be a one-party state is when the state is now ruled, not majorly, but totally, not by even by a single political party. And when they use the word headed there, yes, we are headed there. We are not there yet, but we are headed there. What's going to happen? Let's take, for instance, this upcoming election. We end up having maybe we have 36 states in the country. We end up having 34 from APC. We are not yet a one-party state. When we now become a one-party state, is the next election, 36 states become APC.
As at then, when they were in power,
it feels more like it's very visible, like the defections are so rapid, it's so swift. Today one governor has defected, tomorrow another governor has defected. They don't even give these breaks. It feels more like everybody has realized once the coming election is held, there's 90% chance of retaining your seat. Look at the FCT elections, for instance.
That's the question. How much was the price of goods then? What was the inflation rate then?
All right. So let's move on to the next story quickly because of time. The Renewed Hope ambassadors but let's move on to this particular one. Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the country's inflation rate has dropped significantly since 2023, reflecting the impact of reforms introduced by Bola Tinubu. Speaking in London ahead of the president's state visit to the United Kingdom at the invitation of King Charles III, Idris said inflation fell to 15.06% in February 2026 from 21.9% in 2023. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, he attributed the improvement to key reforms, including petrol subsidy removal, foreign exchange unification, and executive orders in the oil and gas sector. Idris added that Nigerians' uninterrupted democracy since 1999 continues to boost investor confidence, while government effort on infrastructure and security are ongoing. Esther, is this the time for the Honorable Minister of Information to even come out to say this? Especially, now that we have petrol A liter of petrol costing about 1,300 naira right now. Of course, you know, when petrol rises like that, food prices would automatically rise.
Everything
In fact,
rises.
food inflation right now has risen. I don't know if the Minister of Information, who should have information, knows this, but let me hear it.
You said it all. I mean, this is totally the worst period to come out and say that the inflation dropped.